All right, and here we are. This is the Working Title Show with Zach Sams, and we are back. All right, this is the Working Title Show with Zach Sams, back for episode 2 of our new format. And you know, guys, I did a really horrible job of introducing y'all as our new format hosts. Last time, I don't even think I did any proper introduction. We just jumped right into it. Well, I know you too well, but you know, Dallas, I'm really, I gotta say, I'm really thankful that you're here helping me with this, and Tyler, you as well. But you know, to fix past transgressions, Dallas Cawthorn is the CEO of Master Plan Consultants, oldest land use and zoning firm in Texas, formerly a tenured professor. How do you become a formerly tenured professor? And if you're tenured, isn't that like mean?
I guess it is. I mean, yeah.
You're a tenured professor.
Yeah.
Yes. At the University of Texas System, and you're the Dallas Morning News contributing columnist.
University of Texas where?
UT Tyler. I was a faculty member. That was my first job.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, from 96 till I joined the firm in 2002 or
Does that make him a Longhorn?
Teaching
19th century American history, public history. So yeah, I have a PhD in American history.
Wow.
My field.
Wow.
I love that. We're gonna have.
We'll have to have
I've got something I'm really interested.
And that's why I write about history. I wouldn't say regularly, but I certainly, as it pertains to current events, I try to write some columns about it.
Do you notice this? I think that our youth, and maybe it's always been this way, I just notice it now because I'm older, but like they don't know any history about anything.
It's much worse.
And I don't think they even teach it. And if they do teach history, I don't even think they're teaching accurate history.
Well, this is a whole
show.
Really. I mean, the quality of instruction in history in this state is compromised by the importance of football.
Yeah.
And that's just a fact. There's a reason. I mean, I did not get that at the Highland Park schools. I had someone with a doctorate teach me from 8th grade all the way through 12th grade. Every class I took in history. So I was really good at doing history and thought when I got to college, well, I ended up majoring in it almost accidentally. It just mostly was I was interested in it, and I was good at doing it.
Same.
And making good grades is not
I always made good grades
in
history, and I didn't make very good grades in other things. As an ADD kid, if you found something you're interested in, it didn't affect you. But if you weren't interested in it, no chance.
Definitely did.
Zero, no chance. And then Tyler, I don't want to forget Tyler. Tyler's paragraph after his name is as short as mine, but Tyler Isbell, Senior Vice President, Principal, SRS Real Estate.
Yes, sir.
And I just want to thank y'all and let the show know that I'm glad y'all are here, and we're gonna have a great show today. We got a great guest coming on, but before we get on to our guest that's joining us, I just wanted to give you my condolences, Dallas, on air here for your dad passing last week. And I told you on the way in, I was reading Everton Bailey's article in the Dallas Morning News about your dad, which I thought was a really great article.
He did a really great job.
And he really sounded like your dad, like in his day, was a behemoth in Dallas, while he was on the council, after he was on the council, when he was running the company that he started, that you now run. And it sounds like if you wanted something done in Dallas and you didn't know Willie, like your chances probably weren't as good as they would have been.
He did a lot of good work. I mean, I think the Morning News story, did a good job capturing him. That he's still the youngest person ever elected to Dallas City Council.
26 years old.
26 years old.
I can't imagine myself being on the city council of anything at 26.
And he had chaired the sports commission and was an early advocate. Before that. And he had been very involved, like coming out of SMU. He got right involved. My grandfather was very involved in Dallas politics. And so he had an opportunity, but he thought that, we should try to have a Major League Baseball team in the 60s and that they should be where the farmers market is today. So, he was one of the owners of the ABA's Dallas Chaparrals, now the Spurs. So, he was a big believer in basketball. Well, I remember in elementary school or something, I'd tell somebody, "Oh, we're going to Houston to see, the Rockets and the Lakers," and they'd be like, "What?" I was like, "Oh yeah, Kareem's in town," and like,
no clue. Huh?
People forget that the NBA was on tape delay. The playoff games weren't even on TV live.
Really?
in the 1970s. And so people look at you like, why would you be going to watch basketball? Well, he was just ahead of his time in terms of pro basketball.
Yeah.
And Mayor Folsom, they and some other guys own the team here. But this is definitely a basketball town. We've produced, dozens of NBA players.
Yeah.
And he worked. He in the 60s he represented the city in the negotiations to bring the senators here from Washington to Arlington with Mayor Vandergriff over there, and then worked hard on building Reunion and getting an NBA franchise. I know he made a bunch of trips to Buffalo, where the Braves are. They're now the Clippers. They moved to San Diego first in LA, but they had Bob McAdoo. And so there were a group of people in Dallas, ownership group, trying to get by the Braves and get them to move here, because it would have been great to start with. I think McAdoo had been a leading scorer in the league at one point. But no, I mean, I think for sure. And then Master Plan later represented the Stars when they moved here.
Mm-hmm.
We worked on the Cowboys' ill-fated attempt to, be at Fair Park. So we've worked for the Rangers before. We've been involved and I think we did Texas Motor Speedway. So even on the sports thing,
Yeah.
either personally or Master Plan, we've been very involved in things. And I'd probably say that's how people probably best remember him.
Yeah.
Those councils, though, of the 1960s and 70s, and we'll talk about this later when we talk to Jennifer about, those councils, the Folsom Council, I think Bob's remembered for the Mavericks and Reunion and getting all that done. He only served one term. They got the Mavericks and Reunion done, plus did the Arts District. One-term mayor. That's pretty amazing.
Wow.
Do you think our one-term mayor currently could get rid of
He's
most
two
of them in
terms,
one?
but he's only shown up about enough to be a one-termer.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but I know my dad, though, in those councils of the 60s, he's really was proud of the fact that they built all the Dallas Water Utilities lakes. That's what's provided for all the growth in the region. And, in his day, people sort of thought DFW Airport's construction was a folly and didn't make sense. And because it was too far away and we didn't need a big airport. Well, I think we all know now it's a huge engine for why North Texas is so important. So, I'm definitely proud. It's certainly helped me professionally.
Yeah.
Well, the vision that you have to do so, like looking at the pictures back then of the DFW airport, like we're talking the middle of nowhere.
That's right.
Oh,
and
my
now
God,
it's the middle of everything.
It's crazy.
Do we have the vision in today's society that they had back then? Because you look back, it's easy to see now, like, wow, these guys did amazing things that we benefit from now. Do you think our people?
I don't
today
know
are
the
doing
people
this?
in McKinney really but I think that airport's important. I think, I wish people remembered more fondly the late Bill Blades. Bill Blades was your council member in Lake Highlands, also the voice of Lake Highlands football for many years and Austin College football. But Bill was it's the last time I've really seen a council member take on a regional project. He's really the father of the inland port. And when you drive down 45, that's a Bill Blades project. And so, I mean, we're now the country's largest logistics center. And I wish people were more thoughtful about logistics, and that what we need is more trucks and not fewer. I know people get tired of the trucks, but they ought to see it as a sign of
progress of economics.
Yes, of economics. The same way with DFW, you have a lot of logistics up by the airport too. So I don't know that people are as forward thinking. I certainly look back
forward at all.
I look back and I think my father's public service is meaningful, and that we're all reaping the benefits. We wouldn't be the third largest metropolitan region. Just think, we didn't have any pro sports teams. When he first was elected, other than the Cowboys.
When did they show up? But it's probably later than some people realize.
They were in the
early
Cotton Bowl. So they in the late 50s or early 60s. Yeah. So we had one team, and then I guess the Texans too. But we didn't have any of the other sports.
Yeah.
And college football was bigger. I know that was the point I was wanting to make, is for a long time this was a college football town, even when we had the Cowboys. That's hard to envision, and I certainly didn't live through that. But my dad said the Cowboys struggled to find a fan base.
Yeah.
So things have changed. I think everyone here thinks of this as a major league sports city in all the sports. Well, it took forward-thinking people like my dad and Mayor Folsom and Wes Wise, who was the mayor. There were a lot of these people who thought Dallas and the region should be more than it was in 1972 or something.
Well, I think a lot of us would. I hope a lot of people will read that article, and I think it's. I just think it. I think it's neat to see when people, he obviously ran for that office because he wanted to improve the city and the area that we live in, which is the right reason to run for office. And I hope our future generations run for office for the right reasons.
Pretty good segue though to welcome Jennifer and talk about downtown Dallas and some big projects.
That's really important. And thank you for that, Tyler. And we're going to take a break. And when we get back, we're going to talk with Jennifer Scripps. She's the CEO and president and CEO of Downtown Dallas Inc., which I bet some of you don't even know exists or what they do, but they're doing some great work. So we'll be back with her. Thanks for listening. All right. We are back. This is the Working Title Show with Zach Sams on our new format as we started last episode. And we have a fantastic guest joining us today, and I'm super excited to have her here and for taking the time to come and see us. So, Jennifer Scripps, you're the president and CEO of Downtown Dallas Inc., Downtown Dallas Incorporated. Tell us about Downtown Dallas Inc. My feeling is that not everybody knows what that is.
And that is certainly true.
Are you like a hired mayor? Like
No, but I do. It is a luxury to get to focus so concentratedly on one area. And so DDI, which is what Downtown Dallas Inc. I'll refer to it as. Okay. I've been there a little under 4 years, but long knew the organization because I'd worked in and around downtown. We've actually been around since 1958.
No
kidding.
It
started as the Central Business Association.
Did y'all know that?
And so, we always say we're the chief advocate, champion, and steward of downtown. Okay. And ever since the 90s, we have run what's called a PID, a public improvement district, which is kind of a little known assessment tool. And every used to be 7 years, it's going to be 10 years going forward. The property owners come together and say, we will assess ourselves a little bit extra on our property tax. It says Parkland Hospital, Dallas Independent School District, DDI is the tax line.
Okay.
And in exchange, the services that we provide are 7-day-a-week security, clean team, 5-day-a-week homeless outreach team. We have a whole fleet of downtown Dallas ambassadors that work the parks, help conventioneers know where to, get an umbrella or a cup of coffee. We do a lot of planning work, looking at what should the future of downtown Dallas be. So we've done 2 360 plans is what we call them. And it looks at areas like, the convention center really is due for a reboot.
Right.
Things like that.
So you've been in this just under 4 years, you said. So we're in 2025. So around 2021, you came on.
I was interviewing in 21 and started in early 2022.
So
great time to start a job in
I was going to say that
for downtown.
Yeah,
it's been a really interesting time to be in city management. Post-pandemic and
in an office corridor.
The whole doom loop narrative. And really and truly, when I say to people still, I'll go, well, it looks like office market's going to cap out at 75 to 80% return to work. And everyone goes, ooh. And I go, but wait a second. If you're home 1 day a week, that's 80%.
Right.
And a lot of people, a lot of businesses are that 1 to 2 days a week, and some are 5 and some are 3. But that feels about, and everyone goes, oh yeah, okay.
Right.
And I don't know why we all thought everyone was going to go back to the office 5 days a week. But even when I started in DDI, there was this idea that it was just a matter of time and everything would go back. And the cool thing is we're now seeing these real different, our Saturday foot traffic is higher than 2 or 3 of our weekdays.
No kidding.
In downtown Dallas, because people are coming downtown to go to the farmer's market. We had Panda Fest this weekend, which took over Carpenter Park. Y'all.
Panda Fest?
It was a giant Asian food market and festival.
Okay.
It's opened at, I think, 4 o'clock on Friday. There was a line around the park. And so it just proves that these entertainment, bringing people together for social experiences. So we are an office market, and it's still very important that we remain one. But healthy downtowns now have a 7-day a week.
But you're also a residential community.
We
aren't
are.
you?
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing when we're reminding people, 15,000 Dallas
Right.
sites called downtown home. And that does not include Uptown or the Cedars or Trinity Groves or Deep
Well,
Ellum.
that's what I was about to ask.
Oh.
What constitute downtown
Thank
for, what defines
Mhm.
downtown?
So because we are a jurisdiction with assessment values,
Right.
it's inside the highway loop.
Okay.
So people will still say, wait, does that include the Arts District? Oh, yes. West End, Farmers Market,
Okay.
the whole convention center area.
Union Tower.
You
yeah.
have all
Ely
of
Plaza.
that. hmm
Okay.
And it's really, been a neighborhood that even in the early 2000s, a couple hundred residents, not a lot of amenities that really supported people living down there. I think
I
there was
remember when
one
it was
part.
just Manor House.
Yeah,
and then we did the deal for Camden there. It's it's
At Farmers Market?
Yeah, Farmers Market maybe in the late 90s. And there just weren't many people living downtown. And there was a thought, everybody just went home and like downtown shut down, other than maybe the Texas OU game
That's right.
when it the big parties used to be downtown. So downtown's sort of cyclical.
Well, it needs to evolve. I mean, all the way we work, the way we live. I think we're reading a lot. People are getting married much later. They're having smaller families. Baby boomers don't need the ranch houses. They don't want to take care of the pool and the yard. So we also have this boomerang group of people that live in generally our nicer, the museum towers or One Arts plazas. I have board members who live there and they are loving life. They're like, we feel like we're early college kids again. Because they're living downtown.
I was hearing this like a few years back, more of, people were downsizing into these places, and it seems like maybe that's continued. It seemed like it kind of slowed, but you're saying,
I think it's
is that coming back?
exponentially.
I think so too.
Well, if you feel good about,
Mm-hmm.
if you feel like you're safe and that there's things to do and dining and all those things,
right.
it'd be a great place to be.
Absolutely. And I mean, but it's been a layering. We added 24 acres of green space. All of the downtown parks are substantially complete because you have to have a place to go walk your dog or get out and walk yourself. Little things like coffee shops, drugstores, a tailor, a dry cleaners, all of those things. And people will still go up. And Dallas would know this. You don't have a grocery store.
Yeah.
But we did the Union Project.
Right. And so now
there are grocery stores.
That's right.
The Union certainly, I know it's not technically
Is that the one with the Tom Thumb down there?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a Tom Thumb on Live Oak. So most downtown residents, anecdotally, we're hearing the grocery store request is farther down now a little bit, but the residents now are like,
the world's changed where it's delivery.
that's right.
So I feel like it is a much easier place to live. In fact, I think you could argue it might even be easier to live there than it is to work downtown.
Well, and then a lot of people who live downtown, when we do our surveys, they actually work from home.
Yes.
And they're like, I love working from home in downtown because I can go down to any of these coffee shops or restaurants, have a client lunch, or work in, get that social feeling without having to get my car.
Zach brought up a good point about if, these seniors are moving in waves and want to live down there if they think it's safe.
That's right.
And you mentioned, I didn't know that Downtown Dallas Inc. has a budget for safety.
That's right.
What does that look like?
It's our biggest team. We are now actually offering 24-hour safety.
Is that in coordination with DPD
Absolutely.
or separate? Or
yes. So if you are observing, say, a violent crime, you still got to call 911. Our security guards are class C. They could be armed, but we do not arm them. But they address mostly quality of life violations. So somebody's outside panhandling aggressively. An incident occurred. Our guys will sometimes be the first ones on the scene and help a private building security guard while DPD's coming. We are really, I do think, like the secret sauce. Sometimes if there's an incident in downtown, we know all the building owners and we'll say, hey, can we get your footage? There was an incident here at a valet. Somebody tried to grab someone's purse. And we'll get the camera. We can ID the person and then DPD follows up. So work really well. But I will say this has been our challenge the last couple of years. City Hall was a little understaffed for a bit with police officers, and we did the work and said our neighborhood population's more than doubled. Policing has been essentially flat.
Well,
and in concert, thank goodness for our new city manager, we've gone from 90 something police, I think 93, to about 120 police officers.
Oh, wow.
In Dallas assigned.
and you have a city manager now that actually lives downtown.
That's right.
And previously, we had a city manager who did not come to the office and lived out in Mountain Creek. I mean, talk a little bit about that difference in and Kim's been at the city before.
So I think City Manager Tolbert is wonderful, and she's always very quick to say, we're not doing all this because I live downtown, so I need to make sure that's clear. And we're not doing it all because of FIFA, because a lot of people are like, oh, you're just cleaning up downtown because we have FIFA next year. That really minimizes what we're doing. I do think City Manager Tolbert understands that downtown is really the brand essence of our city.
Sure.
And whether you are downtown to pay a parking ticket, conduct a business deal, or staying in one of our hotels, you need to have a good experience. And you need to leave thinking, gosh, that's a downtown befitting the 9th largest city in America.
Yeah.
Or whatever Dallas is now. I think our whole region is 3rd now. But she's really been an advocate. And a lot of it is saying, gosh, downtown, we think it's very good. We want to make it great. So the convention center renovation, Dallas College, the El Centro campus is
How many students are there now?
about 6,700, I think, at last count.
They're going to do it.
Besides SMU.
They're going to do
Exactly.
a huge new campus, aren't they?
They are, and it's really, again, back to workforce. So the reason why Dallas College is so important is the employees that are going to work at Goldman Sachs, Scotiabank, AT&T. They have the second largest number of Bloomberg terminals in their financial services program. I had no idea. They have a whole Bloomberg program. Then they have a huge hospitality services. How are we going to staff all these hotels?
And there's a lot of hotel rooms
There's
downtown.
9,600.
Yeah.
And we need 3,000 more to support the convention center. And those are good jobs. They cannot be outsourced by and large. So the people who are at the front desk of a hotel, the folks that are working the events, helping the conventioneers get around and go to things, all of those jobs. And then the other one.
What a good use of a downtown to have colleges there.
Yes.
Like,
Okay.
there's
And again,
so much
back to
space.
feeling
You could
safe.
use the old
Right.
office buildings for this
That's
kind of
good.
stuff.
It's a very
Huge.
well, back to feeling safe too. College students.
Yeah.
College students stay out. Their hours.
We're looking at
different.
NYU. I mean,
Yep.
Yeah.
So
they don't have a campus. The campus is the entire city.
my favorite example is Savannah. Savannah College of Art and Design, SCAD, took a bunch of, at the time, my understanding was kind of leftover industrial buildings. Some of the buildings feel like the West End, the brick buildings, and turned them into artist studio spaces, gallery spaces. I mean, Savannah is the coolest city, and you'll walk around and go, oh, that's another SCAD building. That's another.
Why not? Because you have the art
Savannah is a
district.
cool
The arts district already there.
That's right.
That's a great
The
idea.
largest arts district in
We're gonna solve this
country.
today. I think we got this.
Yeah.
Why? And we talked a little beforehand. For the first time in 40 years, master plan is not officing downtown, and some of that is the perceptions of largely my younger employees about what are the perceptions and how do those compare to the reality of is homelessness a problem? What about crime? What are those sort of broken window things that are holding city downtown back?
Well, I will say we talked a little bit about the challenges of the pandemic, and I think the most visible one was the homeless uptick.
Sure.
And is a national problem, but we certainly experienced it in Dallas. And we see it in my neighborhood, which is not downtown. We see it all over the city. We have made huge strides over the last year to 18 months, and now we got to sustain them. There was a couple of issues behind that. We are building enough housing in Dallas. So because our economy is booming, people that were on the margins, if the rents go up, they're already housing poor. They're displaced. We have an issue with the Texas prisons dropping people off in downtown Dallas. So we've really been.
What?
Yeah.
Why would they do that?
Texas prisons dropping off people in downtown Dallas.
They will give you a bus ticket, your bag of your possessions, and I've heard $50, and I've also heard $100.
Why downtown Dallas?
That's where the bus
Greyhound.
has been.
Yeah.
So
Now, the
dropping
Greyhound
their stuff
terminal-
for the Greyhound.
The Greyhound
Greyhound
station is
terminal
moving in 2 weeks.
Where is it moving?
Bachman Lake, near the DART station over there,
Oh, okay.
which is actually good.
Yeah.
Some of the bus clients also are servicemen and women that fly into Dallas and then need to take the bus to like Longview or whatever smaller town. They have a very high percentage of individuals who are serving. So it's actually a really good idea because it's close to left field.
Yeah.
And then the Greyhound terminal, Washburn owns that, right?
And
And
it's
that's gonna
probably
be-
just going to go away.
Yeah, and I've heard he said he's going to maybe do restaurant there and more hotel. Yeah, yeah.
Which
It's
is
a perfect
real
space
close
for
to
a
Bank of
hotel.
America Plaza. So yeah, I mean,
So I do want to talk about like the Bank of America plazas.
Yes.
So Dallas asked about, perceptions of younger employees. And we've had a lot of what we call flight to quality with companies choosing when their lease is up to go to Uptown. And the reason why is the Uptown buildings are newer and they feel different a little bit. Things like the parking lot is always right adjacent or right under. They have more ground floor retail. I think the big mistake Dallas made, when was that? The 60s, 70s, when they built the tunnels, took all of that street life underground, which makes the sidewalks feel even.
I've never even seen the tunnels. Where are the tunnels? I want to go to the tunnels.
They're great.
Oh, let's go. There's
Please?
good food down there.
And there is.
Yeah.
It's not as connected as it used to be. So you'll hear people.
Yeah, there was a time you could really. I used to really know it, and you could maneuver all the way out.
Buildings and go down. Like, it's great.
Really?
Yeah.
And I mean, there are some great little restaurants, a lot of like mom and pops, great dumplings place, like
Really?
my Indian place, all the food.
Okay.
And so the Uptown, I think, fixed a lot of those issues out of the
Yes.
gate. And so we have some iconic buildings that were built in the 80s. And I always tell people, like, Bank of America is 1.4 million square feet, I think. That is more than 3 times the size of your typical Uptown Dallas.
It'd be $1 billion
Wow.
to build that building.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
So that
And it was
building,
built for $100 million or even more.
That's crazy.
So that building was never full when it opened in the late 80s. It's definitely not going to be full when Bank of America moves out. And so we are really at this juncture now of what's the next iteration? We don't want to tear it down. It is part of our iconic skyline. We're not building any more of these buildings.
And thank you for mentioning that because we do have a cool
We
skyline.
have an amazing skyline. And again, back to our city brand, but we don't want empty buildings that we can't even afford to keep the lights on in.
I bet Dallas's skyline could be more recognized by people, that maybe have never even been here
That's
than
right.
a lot of cities.
And I mean, some people say it's up there with like Hong Kong and, these other globally
I'd
recognized
recognize
cities.
Dallas before I'd recognize
Me
Hong
too.
Kong's.
I would thank you for saying that. You made
Yeah.
me feel, so the good news is the new ownership group got approved for about $100 million 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago.
Mhm.
And they are going to put a hotel on the top few floors, which again, the views will be killer.
50 rooms, 230 rooms.
Just under 300. So
Yeah.
not a huge hotel. We do need we need 1 or 2 more big kind of monster hotels for conventions, like 700, 800 rooms. Not in this building. And they're going to redo the ground floor space and they're going to build more parking across the street. And I think it will attract some more of this life back. It'll feel new. When we've seen in downtown, as Trammell Crow Center is a great example, the owners completely revamped the lobby, opened it up, brought more light in, activated 3 of the 4 corners with really great restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
That building is over 90% leased.
Wow. Amazing.
It works.
Right.
Yes. And 2 or 3 huge law firms, the Baker Botts, Fitz Elkins of the world. So it is a playbook that works. You're seeing that now at Dallas Arts Tower, the one with the hole in the middle.
Yeah.
Total lobby renovation. They signed over 100,000 square feet of office leases this year. So
And that kind of started a few years ago on that one, and now it sounds
That's
like it's
right.
really taken hold.
So we got at Comerica Tower, there are plans in the works. They have not gone to the TIF board yet, but to really, I think that is a gorgeous building. And if that building is in Uptown, it was built, I think, a year.
Kind of the big rumor mill right now, the
Mhm.
Comerica.
Comerica.
It
There's
is
been some good
beautiful.
renderings that have come out.
That's
Exactly.
where City Hall should go.
I can't tell you where it should go, but
I just-
we have
I can
all
tell you what I
of
think.
these amazing
The
buildings.
nice thing about having an opinion column is I now my opinions they give me ink to them.
Mhm.
So I mean there are a number of those like the Texas Pacific, I guess it's the one with the hole what it was originally when it opened. I've always thought that's a really cool building.
It is a cool building.
When Petroleum Club was there for just decades and decades.
Which building?
The one with the hole.
Oh, okay. I'm still.
It was Chase Tower when I remember,
Right.
and then now it's Dallas Arts Tower.
I think that's why.
I mean,
yeah.
there's a reason a lot of those buildings are in the opening of the Dallas TV show.
Right.
I mean, those were iconic
Yeah.
buildings.
Mhm.
They have a lot of value. They also have problems. The
Mm-hmm.
parking is almost always a problem for office tenants, for anybody's. They just didn't have enough parking. And back then, and Dallas City Hall is the same problem.
Right.
People in that era they had employees, they just said, well, y'all figure it out or walk 2 or 3 blocks. People won't do that anymore.
That's right.
Young professional people, that is a barrier to hiring
And if
them.
there is parking, those garages are very difficult.
They are difficult.
Well, it seems like if you get more residents downtown,
Mm-hmm.
then you'll create more walkability for people that want to work
Absolutely.
down
And
there.
then it's
And with if colleges are down there and they're going to class down there, then they're walking.
I mean, I was really optimistic when we moved to the East Quarter in 2019, and It just hadn't happened.
Right.
Oh, the Todd interest projects and all that.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it hadn't happened completely, but there've been some, like, national anthem is cool, and
Again, I think we have these hot spots, and stringing them together is really a challenge. And I will say, I love the East Quarter. You tell most people, tell me again where that is. And I was using the example of Harwood Street. If you start at the DMA and you just walk south on Harwood, you hit the farmers market, you go right past all of that. But if I tell somebody, oh yeah, the East Quarter is between Main Street Garden and farmers market, they kind of give you a little bit of it is, we don't want people to feel like they can't get lost in downtown. Part of the joy of most great American cities is I get out of my car, I come out of the subway, and I just walk around. And I know downtown still has too many flat lots. We know this. And we've got to kind of get this idea that you can just walk.
That is cool. Do you have like a walking map on y'all's website or something?
We have a walking map, and then we are working. We want to be able to get people from Clyde and Warren to the AT&T Discovery District. That's one of our paths.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Like, Boston has the Freedom Trail.
The Freedom Trail.
We need like a walking trail
And
like this. This is where you go.
We've got to get people down Ackerd and down Harwood.
Yeah.
North-south connections are really to that point. And we're doing a lot of these kind of visual enhancements, this visual cueing for FIFA, because we're going to have millions of people here.
So do you think that's really an opportunity for us to shine and show?
And a lot of the improvements we're trying to make are things that are going to live beyond the tournament. So doing, I always call them Christmas lights, but enhanced lighting at every major intersection on Main Street, doing these north-south corridor maps, things like that live on.
And lighting shouldn't be hard because lighting's so cool now with LED. It doesn't even cost anything to run these things. A
little bit of it is just the coordination. And part of, I will say this too for downtown, I hate to keep bringing up, our infrastructure is old. And so a little bit of it is this redevelopment is helping these buildings decide, okay, well, how do I bring Super Ninja internet speed into these buildings that were built 40 years ago? And some of the lighting and traffic signaling, we're grappling with that.
I think we have an opportunity though, and also a sense of urgency.
That's right.
Because the convention center is going to be open in 29. Why not now?
That's right.
And if you got to pass a bond or you got to do something to really get the infrastructure in,
it's the investment.
If the Mavs want to go to the City Hall location or what, it needs to be done now so they're ready for that to open. Because, for years we've gone to Texas ICSC and in the convention center, and everybody comes in from the country is like, now what do we do? And you're like, let's get out of here. Because
and then they end up having their parties at the Highland Park Village or Preston Center or over in Uptown. I do think we need more good entertainment. I think Ray taking over the space at the park. At the park was good. It's not downtown, but we need more destination dining.
Absolutely.
So that everybody's not, when they've come in from Prosper or from Austin, I'm going to go to Javier's.
Right.
If we can get them to think I can stay downtown and really just stay downtown, I just go straight from left field.
It's walkable. I don't have to get in a cab.
That's right.
Yeah.
That is absolutely the goal. And we were in the design district, Saturday night, and all those restaurants are packed.
Yeah, they're cool.
They're really cool. They've done a great job. But again, everyone takes their Uber or drives and then goes back to their neighborhood, back to their. So we've got to
not to unwind the downtown Dallas thing. It reminds me of like Christmas Vacation when he hands Rusty the big knot of Christmas lights. He's like, you work on that. It's like, how do you get all of, there's so many things that string together.
I'm going to feel this week,
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. I will say this, it's really fun to be in this world because we're such a convener. And so the business community does really care. And we've been in meetings where, that the homeless people want to help. Everybody is still pulling, and that is to our great benefit. And the fact that we have a good leader at City Hall.
Have you done any
city manager?
City manager. I know.
Yeah, I just don't want our mayor to get any credit.
I knew that was coming.
I knew that was funny. But a little bit of it too is we are at this fragile, I think, tipping point a little bit. If we've got to get convention center, there's still what's it going to have?
Yeah.
What's it going to include? The City Hall, we got to land some of these planes.
How do you, I know there was an age where every council member felt downtown was important. And, I feel like that we've gone away from that where it's just someplace they come to have the meetings. do you feel like that's essential where that's
That's
one
my
of the
goal.
problems with 14.1 is, oh, it's not in my district. My constituents don't care. I'd argue, and I did in my column, I don't care if you're in Bent Tree, this is 5% of the tax base. And so it matters for every citizen in the whole region, but certainly if you're paying taxes in Dallas.
It absolutely matters. And if my argument to that, there's several, but it is the largest and most consequential job market for all of our residents south of I-30. Okay, period.
Yeah.
Downtown is number one. Number two is the medical district, Baylor, and the medical area. Number three is the city of Plano. So if we lose jobs in downtown Dallas, they're not going somewhere else in Dallas. They're going to a burb.
Yeah.
And reminding people of that over and over again is essential. The other thing is we have 60 acres of flat lots. Dallas is mostly grown out to its borders. So
Owned by out-of-state parking companies.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So we need to start to grow in our city, grow our tax base, address some of our aging infrastructure. Where better to do it than downtown Dallas, where, frankly, we have really good zoning. We're not fighting a lot of NIMBY neighborhood types that don't want, density. People in downtown Dallas, they've bought into density, right?
And who better to do it than guys like Mike Avalon?
That's right.
That have a
Perfect.
vision.
Yep.
And man, I was so rooting for him to get mayor because he's such a visionary. And so, to be respectful of your time, we know you're super busy and you're going to totally transform downtown Dallas. But if you did have a city on a hill shining, forecast for world is your oyster, what could be, if you could just hit a grand slam with a downtown Dallas moment, what would it be?
Well, of course, my goal is that there is something for everybody in downtown Dallas, and it's 7 days a week. It feels active, and that all of you can come down, conduct a business meeting, entertain clients, and then walk around and be so proud of your city. And
so not the Burj in the south side, the Burj, Khalifa. You don't want no.
No, I think what's more authentic is
building.
I don't think it needs to be, and that's the other thing too, is we always go bigger and better in Dallas. I think I want it to feel good at the pedestrian level.
Right.
So I want it to feel good when you're going in a mom and pop coffee shop, and then you pop down and you go into the DMA, and then you pop down and then you end up in the West End and have another drink. I mean, I want all of that to feel seamless and safe and enjoyable.
I think what you're
more national anthems.
That's right.
I mean, the execution was great. That's the old KLIF building. It's historic. We're reusing it in a productive way.
That's ran. Great.
Yeah, both of those. But that's a great example in my mind of it activates the streets.
Absolutely.
It brings people in. It is a worthy destination for people. We need more of those kinds of things. And maybe the city needs to find a way to help you make it less expensive for people to operate downtown, at least initially.
And again, back to all of those essential city services, keep the parks nice.
That's right.
Do the policing, make sure the traffic signal. I mean, that stuff matters downtown, just like it matters in all of your neighborhoods. And that's the other thing. A lot of times we are the neighborhood activist or advocate because a lot of our residents, sometimes they're new to the area or whatever.
For sure.
So we play that role.
Well, in that big knot we were talking about, what are the two highest level priorities that y'all have to unwind to continue the progress? It sounds, and to me, it sounds like y'all made great progress that some people just haven't noticed or seen or hadn't reached them yet.
Well, that's my
key really
message
neat.
to a lot of people is come explore your downtown. Yeah, come check it out. Make a Saturday of it. You will not be disappointed. I think in the next year, I'm hoping by this time next year, we have a clearer understanding about the convention center and Dallas College. We'll know exactly what AT&T's plans are. And then fingers crossed, we have some announcement around what the future of City Hall looks like.
Yeah.
And maybe not as a City Hall in that building, but in other places with something bigger and better at that site. Yeah. So those are three huge.
Yeah.
If you think about those in concert. But the convention center's, more, thank you for saying that. It's more than a convention center. It's the convention center and then all of the amenitized surroundings.
Have to have that.
Yeah. Have y'all been to Nashville? I think they do a great job where you go over to Broadway.
Right on Broadway.
Yeah. And they have sports. Everywhere you go, you're hearing country music. You're in a special place.
Mm-hmm.
That's the
San Antonio, Texas ICS is in San Antonio this year, and it's so fun to go be cheesy and
I know.
have the sombrero and margarita and hang out on the Riverwalk. And
I did hear.
We're gonna do a podcast down there, aren't we?
Let's go.
Yes, we need to do one on site. Yeah,
It'd be great.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Jeremy,
much.
thank you, sir.
For coming
Yeah,
on.
absolutely.
We want to have you back
Good.
for like
This is a
updates.
great way to start the week too, because I'm like, I'm going to go attack that ball of Christmas lights this week.
Yeah.
It's great.
Love it.
Yeah. Well,
Thank
I
you.
think it sounds like you're doing an amazing job, and
Thank you.
we're gonna come. Tyler and I are gonna come downtown and have lunch.
Thank y'all.
Because it's been I'm trying to remember last time I was down there. I used to go down there a lot more because I had a client that was officing down there, and they've since moved to Uptown. But we'll try and get them back.
Uptown's almost
But-
built out, so I
Yeah.
have to think it's going to help us bring people.
Well, I think with what's going on and what you're talking about, that's going to be very possible. So, but let's, I'd love to have you on more often and hear more
Anytime,
updates
guys. I
and how we
enjoyed
can,
this.
yeah.
I love
Thank
it.
you.
Great.
Okay, have a great week.
You too.
Thank y'all.
Hey,
All right.
see ya.